This webcam is powered by artificial intelligence. And while you might wonder why you need AI in a webcam, it actually means that this Insta360 Link can do so much more than just simple video calls, including advanced presentations and even use as an overhead camera. So today, to review the Insta360 Link, I'm going to go through a series of different topics, including the video and audio quality, including a comparison to my MacBook Pro webcam. I'm going to go through a bunch of the key features that the AI brings to this webcam. We'll talk about the software, and then we'll talk a bit about my favorite mode on this camera. And then we'll wrap up by talking about a few different applications where this camera might come in really handy and whether or not I think it's actually worth buying at all. All right, so first of all, let's talk a bit about the image and the audio quality, because that's kind of the main thing you want in a webcam is good audio, good video. This is the Insta360 Link. Now, as you can see, it's pretty high quality for a webcam. It's got a 1/2 inch 4K sensor, and considering it's a camera that can literally sit on the top of a laptop or a monitor, compared to my mirrorless camera, I actually think it's pretty comparable quality. Now, this is completely raw and ungraded footage, and then this is some sort of adjusted and graded footage. And this is kind of where I start to think that the Link could be super useful to video content creators in general. Because it's such a high quality camera that can be used for so many different applications, the possibilities for this camera are actually pretty endless. Now, the camera itself also supports HDR, which is really cool. Now, I want to compare it to my MacBook Pro webcam. So this is some footage from my MacBook Pro webcam, and then back to the Link. As you can see, I think the MacBook Pro webcam kind of does some artificial softening or something like that just to make your face look a bit better, but the Link is just much more accurate. And I always prefer accurate to artificially improved. So again, this is from a full HD brand new MacBook Pro, but the Link image quality just blows it out of the water. It's just so much better. Now, the Link also has active noise cancellation with dual mics in the front of the camera. All right, this is an audio test on the Insta360 Link. How does it sound? This is an audio test on my MacBook Pro microphone. How does it sound? And this is back to my Shure MV7 mic. How does it sound? Let me know in the comments what you think of the comparison between my mirrorless camera, the Link, and my MacBook Pro webcam. Now, next up, let's talk a bit about the features. So the camera is on a 3-axis gimbal, which is pretty cool in and of itself, but it means you can position the camera pretty much anywhere and it'll always be level in your room, which is super cool. Even if you're moving the camera around, the gimbal will keep the footage level, which is really cool. And again, really handy for all sorts of different applications, not just for webcam use. And another super cool thing about the gimbal is that when you're not using the camera and the camera turns off, it automatically drops down into privacy mode so that your camera isn't looking into your space if you don't want it to be, which is really nice. Now, let's talk a bit about how the camera is powered by artificial intelligence. And this is where it gets pretty cool. So the first way AI is used with this camera is with gesture tracking. Now, the camera recognizes a few different gestures. The first gesture that it recognizes is a raised palm. And what a raised palm does is it puts the camera into face tracking mode. And face tracking is literally what it sounds like. If you move around the room or anywhere in your room, it will follow your face, which is pretty amazing. Honestly, I was very impressed with the face tracking on this camera. And again, because it's on that 3-axis gimbal, you can pretty much move anywhere in your whole room and it will follow you. You can move up, you can move down, you can move around, and it will just follow you wherever you go, which will be great, especially if you're presenting within a room or if you're wanting to film a video and you're wanting to move around your room, but you don't have someone to actually film you. It's actually really impressive. Now, the next gesture it recognizes is an L shape with your hand. If you do an L shape and then lift your hand up, the camera will start to zoom in. This is pretty amazing. I was so impressed. Then if you drop the L down lower, it will start to zoom out. And again, this is super handy if you're not wanting to jump up to your computer and fiddle with settings and zoom and whatever. You can just do it all on the fly with gestures. And the last gesture that it recognizes is 2 fingers raised. Now, what this does is it puts the camera into whiteboard mode. Now, the Link comes with these 4 little stickers that you can stick on the corners of a whiteboard. I don't have a whiteboard, so I just stuck them onto my mirror in my office, and it works just as well. You raise 2 fingers and then the camera finds where you've stuck the stickers, which is your whiteboard, and then it zooms in and levels your whiteboard space so you can start to write things on it, present from it really clearly. And again, this is amazing for people in education or even like course content creators or anything like that. The ability to be able to zoom in on your whiteboard and present from there is just pretty amazing. Raising two fingers again will take it back out of whiteboard mode and back into the regular mode. Now, apart from these modes, there's 3 other modes, one of which is my absolute favorite. But first of all, let's just talk a bit about the software control. So the Link has a free software download, which gives you full control over your Insta360 Link. And the first thing that enables you to do is to just literally drag on your preview screen. And this enables you to move your camera all around the room, which again is an advantage of the 3-axis gimbal. And you can look around your entire space. You can look up, you can look down, you can look left and right. You can also use the joystick control on the top right to move the gimbal around. And then just beneath this, you've got different preset modes. And this enables you to save a preset where you want your camera to be looking. And then you can quickly jump between views of the camera just by hitting those preset buttons. So the next tab is the image settings tab, and this has all sorts of picture settings. It's actually really impressive. You can fully customize your exposure, including even exposure curves, which is amazing considering this is a webcam. You can manually set your white balance on a Kelvin scale, which again is really impressive for a webcam. And then you can adjust things like brightness, saturation, contrast, sharpness, all that sort of thing. And then finally, under more settings, you can turn off gesture controls if you don't want to be using them, as well as you've got AI zoom. So this enables you to set the camera to automatically zoom in on your head, your half body, or your whole body, which is especially useful if you're moving about the room presenting that way, because the camera will automatically zoom depending on what you set it to as you move around your space. And yet another cool thing is that it's got manual focus. I think this is a pretty cool feature which enables you to just hone in your camera settings to exactly where you want them to be. And then you can do mirror image and turn HDR on and off. Now let's talk a bit about those 3 other modes. So the first mode is streamer mode. Now streamer mode is really cool. If you turn it on, the camera will restart in a mode that enables 50 frames per second or 60 frames per second in HD, and it also enables a portrait mode, which is really cool. Portrait mode will be really handy if you're streaming content, as well as I reckon it will be super handy for shooting content for social media like Instagram or TikTok or that sort of thing. I'm definitely going to be using it for that. And again, even in portrait mode, it still has all the different features like face tracking. Then the next mode is desk view mode. Now this is a pretty cool mode that enables you to present stuff from your desk. Once you turn it on, the camera drops down and automatically reframes your desk so that it looks level and flat for people who are watching. And it's just a really easy way for you to present all sorts of different things that you might want to from your desktop. And then lastly, my absolute favorite mode is the overhead mode. And the reason why it's my favorite mode is because for ages I've struggled with having an overhead rig with my mirrorless camera just because it's kind of big and bulky and it's hard to mount above my desk. Whereas the Insta360 Link has an overhead mode that automatically, because of the 3-axis gimbal, levels off your shot when it's set to this mode. And because it's such a tiny little camera, it's so easy to mount to something like a C-stand. And I absolutely am going to be using this camera for all of my unboxing videos and all that sort of thing, any type of table or desktop view shot that I want, because it's really high quality image, like I said, and a 3-axis gimbal combined with the fact that it's a tiny size just make it so easy to use for an overhead camera. So that kind of leads me to my final thoughts about whether or not you should buy this camera, and I definitely recommend it. I think if you're just looking for an upgrade to a webcam, then it's probably too expensive just for an upgrade to a webcam. But if you're looking for a camera that can do all sorts of different things with the different modes that this camera has, then I absolutely think you'll be really happy. Especially I think for people like content creators, I think it would be really useful for, again, that overhead rig camera. I reckon you could even use it as your main A camera. Like, the quality is that nice. It'd also be great for online interviews over Zoom, and the portrait mode enables you to create content for social media really easily. I think it would also be great for streamers because, again, of that streamer mode with 50 or 60 frames per second and portrait mode. And then I think it would also be amazing for online educators. I know when I was doing uni and having to watch lectures online, I think something like this would make the lectures way more engaging, especially when it comes to presenting stuff on a whiteboard or even stuff on a desktop with that desktop mode. So if you are interested in picking up the Link, check out my link in the description. It is an affiliate link, so it does help support the channel, which I always appreciate. But this is honestly my real thoughts. This is the second time Insta360 has sent me one of their products, and I genuinely have been really impressed. both times. I'm definitely looking forward to using it more for unboxing videos and that type of thing. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the Insta360 Link? Are you looking to buy it? Do you already have it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out my creative tech playlist. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.